We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Katie, in my very jazzy custom-made jumper.
Oh my God. I'm Lauren.
Yes.
I've also got a Christmas jumper on, but nothing like that.
It's incredible, Katie. All I've got are some lights. I'm Quentin, by the way.
Quentin with his festive lights. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas, yes.
Christmas,
Yes.
yes. And we're here to talk to you all about what's happened so far in the Archers this week. We will be focusing particularly on the episodes of Sunday the 15th, Monday the 16th and Tuesday the 17th of December. There will be spoilers, there will be festivities. You have been warned. What did we think about the week so far?
Can I just say one thing first? I take it all three of you have been engaged to Tom at some point in your lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of my questions. Having only listened for 8 years, I didn't realise he'd been engaged to so many people prior to that 8-year period.
Player.
He's such a
player.
Who knew Tom was such a babe back then? I mean, yeah.
Lauren?
Right.
No, if he doesn't do it for me, then I've got very low standards.
So what did we think, Katie, tonight?
Brenda dropping that clanger to Helen. Yes. The
Fabulous.
best thing. I cheered out loud. I was like, oh, go on. And then it just kept unravelling. It was wonderful. One of the best things ever.
I feel like, have I missed something in terms of like Helen's outrage?
Yeah.
Her saying, "Oh, I've been turfed out of my own home." She decided to leave after faffing Kirsty around for so long. It's inexcusable.
I know.
Yes.
And then she had the cheek to turn around to Tom and say, you're too focused on yourself to focus on others.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yes. But she's got no grounds, has she?
Not
She
at all.
just said it's beneath her, that house. She didn't want it. And now all of a
absolutely.
sudden...
Exactly.
Can I just chuck in a very early prediction? I've got some others, but I think she's gazumped Natasha and Tom.
Oh,
I
I like
thought of
that.
That's a very good prediction, but if it's true, I'll be fuming.
I know.
She doesn't deserve that house.
No. I quite like
doesn't.
Natasha sticking the knife in a bit by saying, "Well, you could always move into our tiny little house." It's what?
She could. It could be more
You
quaint.
live in
She
our
goes on
tiny
about
house.
it.
Yes.
Oh, And when
April
Helen-
Cottage.
Wonderful.
Yes,
when
yes.
Helen said, "I hope you'll be very happy living in my
I know.
home,"
I
it's
know.
not your
Disgusting.
home. You're renting it.
It's
You
not.
silly
Awful.
woman.
She's I put awful Helen.
Awful,
Yeah,
awful.
awful. God, she's dreadful.
Oh.
At least the
Absolutely
dormice
lovely.
have homes.
Oh, I know. That was one of my faves, actually. I love hearing
Very
about
true.
the rewilding and everything, and then hearing about the dormouse boxes and Brad helping out, although tinged with sadness that Brad is having such an awful time at the moment. But yeah, loved hearing about the dormouse.
Very, very interesting line that Natasha just slipped in about the mortgage offer, and he said, "What about your credit rating?" And she said, "I've paid off all our cards," because that's been something that's bugging me for years.
She said all my
That-
cards. So
My card.
Yeah.
When you said all our cards, she said.
Oh,
Did
I
she say
thought,
mine
no,
or
I
our?
thought she said my cards, meaning there's still joint stuff.
Yeah. Oh, right. But at least it's been finally acknowledged about her credit card issues, and she's going to just find 50 grand out of her safety net. What?
I
Lovely
think there's still
safety net.
something hidden.
Has she
Yeah.
made 50 grand?
I'm sorry, Tom winds me up even more because of that. He's got this sort of debt phobia of, oh my goodness, you're putting money on the credit card. What about your credit record? She hasn't had a credit record problem. She's not been taken to court. She's not got any CCJs. She's just loaded some spending on the credit card. And Tom is just like, oh my goodness, that's so on Ambridge. I can't cope with it. Sorry.
This is, for our listeners and viewers, this is free advice from a wealth advisor.
Load up the credit cards.
Noted. Bye.
Merry Christmas. Load up the credit cards.
So we heard Brenda. She returned this week. It was set up at the beginning of the week, and I thought, oh my goodness, are we actually going to hear her? And hear her we did.
Could you give us a potted history on Brenda? I've never experienced Brenda before.
So just Roy's sister worked for Lillian. I mean, we've heard quite a few bits tonight. Then went off for Ambridge Extra with Lillian to Russia, I'm sure it was, and met Dimitri that she mentioned,
yes.
and then went off. And she had, when they came back, Lillian was having an affair with Matt Crawford's brother. and Brenda was having to do a lot of covering and getting truly fed up with Lillian and went off to make something. So she's an escapee.
Right.
She's got the career.
Cashmere coat and a lovely car.
Working in property. So maybe she's on Selling Sunset. I don't know.
Well, she's just flown. She's been to Dubai and Miami recently. Broken up with Adrian, her fiance.
Yeah.
Has a nice car, nice coat. Love that moment when she meets Natasha and declares, "I wasn't cut out for a life of mud and overalls." And then Natasha replies, "I'm not always dressed like this. I mean, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife, wasn't it? Daggers. Brilliant."
I took issue with that. I don't think Natasha would ever wear a shabby old fleece. I think she's still fully made
She
up.
said afterwards, didn't she? She said, "I wish I looked that good in whatever." That's what Brenda said about it. I just find the name
She's
Brenda
definitely
quite
in
funny.
like Lucy and Yak kind of dungarees.
Absolutely,
She's not in kind of the bog standard boiler
lovely
suit.
top knot with a nice big scarf in it. Look at and lovely lipstick. I can just see.
Definitely.
Maybe I fancy her and all.
Well, it is Christmas, isn't it? Fill your boots.
Yeah, why not? Whenever I hear the name Brenda, though, I always think of like a mum's mate or an auntie. So to hear this sort of glamorous cashmere Brenda, it's made me chuckle a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Katie, any other flops or faves?
Helen is my main flop because she's just been a nightmare. But also Brad sounding so low, even though Mia's back and everything. He just sounded really low today and just fed up that he's got to see George, and he's just got a lot of weight on his shoulders, bless him.
On, isn't he?
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, I want Mia to kind of come back. One of my little predictions is Mia's going to go to the prison as well and tell George to stick it.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That would be my Christmas present.
Be great. Yeah, exactly. That would be lovely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lauren?
But also I loved Leonard with his little broken wrist.
I know.
Bless him. I do quite like Leonard.
I
And the
love
way he
Leonard.
was trying to do that casserole, just flinging potatoes everywhere.
Flying potatoes.
Using every pot in the whole kitchen.
Yeah.
I thought, considering we had like a very irate Ruth a couple of weeks ago, just from Fallon even looking at the kitchen, to then to have Leonard using every single pot in the kitchen, and it all to be, "Don't worry, I'll clear up." I thought, whoa. Different person, different attitude from Ruth.
There's just a grumpy parcel that's passed round, and now it's back with Helen. I mean, she's the usual owner anyway.
But I've got to say, Leonard got on my wick a bit. I've always liked Leonard, but he's been getting a bit sort of, I don't know, doddery and stupid and annoying, isn't he?
Something
Leonard?
that is annoying is someone...
He didn't need to make a casserole.
No, or like doing something which is beyond your capabilities at that time because you've got a broken wrist.
Yes,
like you don't need to do that.
It was
This
stupid.
is just going to create havoc.
It was done with the best intentions, but it was stupid, Leonard. And you need to go have a sit down and let Ruth ruin your casserole.
It was nice to hear what Leonard means to Jill. That was lovely, wasn't it? Hearing that and saying like he's very special and he's made her feel very special, and that was lovely. That was really lovely.
Yes.
Very cute.
Is that it?
Bye!
It's a short version.
Just on the Leonard, I don't think he would ever have a messy kitchen. Leonard is too neat and organised.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
think.
that's true.
So-
2 hours to clean up, to shut up his bungalow, and then just going wild in the kitchen. It doesn't match
I
up.
agree.
does it?
With one arm.
Yes. The other bits of housekeeping, we've learned that Pat and Tony, they're just away for a couple of days, and already Tom is missing their babysitting skills.
And having to use Pip.
Yes, so he sent them to Pip's. Yeah. He looked after. I thought, well, gosh, crikey. And another thing about Helen that I really can't believe, that she told Natasha about Joy's secret that she wanted to propose to Nick.
I was going to mention that.
To Mick. Yeah. I thought, what gives you the right to tell Natasha?
Podcast.
Did you just shoo your wife away?
I did. I wrote shush for Helen, letting on to Natasha about Joy, and I've just shushed my wife. There's a sign on the door saying on air.
It couldn't be any
You need a
clearer.
light,
It couldn't be any
Quentin.
clearer.
You need
What?
a light. You need one of those lights to say you're on air. That's what you need to do. Do we think?
Are you going to behave, Emma? What? I haven't finished. Sorry about this. This comedy moment.
I'm staying in.
I don't even know what time we started recording, so I'm completely lost. But anyway, it'll be fine. Do we think this Christmas Eve concert at St Stephen's that was meant to be performed at the Village Hall in Cumberley, we've heard that that's happening and they're looking forward to it. Is that going to be something momentous or
I don't
not?
know. I just feel like they really loaded on the Christmas references this year. We've got Christmas cards, production line, Christmas dinner, loads of talk about Christmas dinner, wreath making, Christmas Eve concert. I just feel like they were like, just a reminder, we've got Christmas next week.
Christmas.
So,
Yes.
And the visit to the panto as well.
oh yes, of course, yeah. And a Christmas proposal. I've got a prediction about that as well.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make Quentin's day as he's got his poor wife trying to come in. Let's talk
Oh,
about
barge
food.
They're
in.
in now.
Yeah. So we've got King Edward's carrot, sage, roseberry, herb spuds, Yorkshire puddings, roasties, sprouts with chestnuts, honey and bacon, yes please, Christmas dinner, casserole, smoking beef, potatoes, vegetables, lettuces. And Quentin is holding up a sign saying #fast forward. He
I've
loves
also
it so
got
much.
turkeys, and turkey guts was mentioned, but no one's eating turkey guts. And peas, did you say peas? And edible forest garden. Num, 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 num.
Oh yes, very good. Well done. You're fine, Q. You
Well
can.
done.
You can return. You are
Welcome back.
fine to return. So we're glad to see Brenda. Would we like her to stay there?
For a little bit. Maybe not long.
She's just there. She's just there to stir the pot, isn't she? For the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's doing a cracking job.
Yes.
Not 1 foot, both feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also, I'm sorry, Kirsty, but you have just wasted time. And a lot of it is down to Helen wasting her time. But I feel like I need Kirsty to stop being a doormat and to start channeling Brenda and be the strong woman that she used to be. Come on, Kirsty, you can do it.
Do you think Kirsty is going to be able to buy Willow Farm? Is all that going to go wrong for her as well?
I don't know.
I
worry
want to, but I
about
think it is going to go wrong.
I want
Kirsty, innit?
I want that to happen, but I think it's going to go wrong. I don't know how.
Speaking of things going wrong, I should just say that our Patreon event, thanks to me being involved in another BBC Radio 4 event, we're having to move our Patreon event from the 7th of March to the 14th of March. Apologies for that. So put it in your diaries. Patreon, 14th of March, linked in the show notes. And if you'd prefer not to contribute regularly on a monthly basis, you can instead buy us a coffee on a one-off basis. Links again in the show notes. Sorry, back to the chat.
And tell them to subscribe and follow as well, Philip.
I was holding off that this time because I say it every time. And I
You
thought
always
I'd
forget.
have one. How dare you? I am cut to the quick. Did we like Brenda peeking through the window, the dairy window, and giving Clary and Susan the shock?
Yeah, and it sounds as though they were really shocked. Blast from
would
the
be.
past
When was... I missed that. When was that?
tonight.
It was tonight.
They
They
weren't.
made a
She
big
was just
thing about her
recalling
looking
it,
in the
wasn't she?
window.
She was recalling it, saying, "Oh,
I was paying a lot of attention.
It was right at the top. It opened on that, didn't it? Oh no, it didn't.
Oh,
It opened
did
with
it?
the credit rating, so it was after that.
Yeah.
You were
Yes.
probably still thinking about all those credit cards she, Natasha's
I
paid
was.
off.
I was writing copious notes about that. Yes. But David has conceded that he's come round to enjoying Leonard's company, hasn't he? So
Yeah, he
grumpy
did. He
old
said
David.
it. He was like, "Yeah, it's actually nice to
Yeah.
have him around." I think he would be a nice guy to have around.
He would. He would.
And it's Jill's
fix
home
everything.
as well.
Yeah.
So, it's not really... I know she moved out, but she's moved back. It's her home.
Yeah.
It's not for them to say, oh, he can't stay.
And I think it was a bit much to expect the son to come back from Singapore for a broken wrist.
wrist. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stars of the week. Let's have them. Katie?
I did have Leonard to start with, but I've now put Brad, just because he's holding all that weight. He needs a little bit of lifting up and a little bit of support.
Yeah.
So, yes, Brad.
I've also
Laura?
got Brad. a short period. He's only been on it a little bit this week, but I do think about him a lot, and I do worry about him.
Q?
I've gone for Kirsty. I have, because I think she has bitten her tongue about all these tactless references about Tom from Brenda, and she's been incredibly dignified, and she hasn't lost it despite all the things that are sort of ganging up on her about this house sale. And tonight she was lovely, I thought, when she said no one's beyond redemption, everyone deserves a second chance. So I think she has actually shown great dignity in the face of adversity, when we all know it's all going to go terribly wrong for poor Kirsty. So Kirsty it is for me.
Mine is Brenda. It's lovely to have her back. It's great to have the original actress Amy doing it as well. I love her sort of passive-aggressive comments and her cashmere coat. Fantastic.
Yay. Okay.
Predictions, Katie?
I've got that Emma might get a bleak phone call from George at Christmas. I wonder whether he's going to actually contact her on Christmas Day, and there's going to be a bleak conversation about how horrible it is in there, and he maybe has a bit of redemption and decides that he's got to get in touch with his mum on Christmas Day. I don't know. And then I think the prediction that we've all got about the proposal is that Mick's going to say no.
He'd be a fool, but in a way I hope he does, because I'm sick of the I was going to say the sight of him, but the sound of him.
Sound of him.
I can't bear him. I want him gone.
No. Joy deserves better.
She does deserve better. I think it's going to hurt her, but I think get it done now, then we can find her someone lovely. Leonard, maybe.
Yeah. Cute.
Be an interesting love triangle.
Yeah, would be.
Wow.
Well, any other predictions, Lauren? Or
Quentin's prediction at the top of the episode has thrown me off now, of him saying he thinks it might be Helen that's gazumped them, which would be a great prediction. But I've also sort of predicted financial ruin for Tom and Natasha, wondering that maybe all isn't as it seems. They're going to go into this, potentially Tom in good faith, Natasha maybe knowing a little bit more, and it all not work out for them. And that then has an effect on Pat and Tony and where they're going and all of this. So I feel like maybe that we're being set up for something like that. So financial ruin for the new year. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Especially your observation, did she say our cards or my cards? And if there might be some other cards to pay off. My best prediction is obviously the gazumping one, but I have got a silly one. Well, it's quite plausible, actually. All right, I'm hoping for a cat fight between Natasha and Brenda on the village green. My money is on the Welsh Walloper. Or Natasha runs a nail along the entire length of Brenda's flashy car.
Her manicured nail.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah, actually. Or a stiletto. Yeah. Yes.
Well, one of mine is that Leonard buys Ruth and David an air fryer for Christmas and causes great consternation that there is now an air fryer
atop the range.
Yeah,
the Argo is what I mean.
That you can do with one hand.
Yeah.
One hand.
And my other prediction is that we have 2 proposals from Christmas. Jill proposes to Leonard. I know she said she wouldn't, but Jill proposes to Leonard. She's loved doing the Christmas cards with him, who accepts. And Joy proposes to Mick, who, let's hope, says no. But those are our proposals. Now, on Saturday, there will be a special bonus episode with questions from our lovely Facebook group to the wonderful Emerald, who plays Emma Grundy. So that's very exciting. Now, next week, a slight change of plans, because Tuesday is Christmas Eve, and Katie and I will be very busy, both of us, helping Santa get all his arrangements ready and helping the elves. So instead of on Tuesday, Katie and I will be recording on Friday, straight after Friday's episode next week. So you will have us reviewing the whole week next week. And that will be out on Friday the 27th. But all is left is for us to wish you such a very, very Merry Christmas and look forward to seeing you on the 27th. Until then, it's a bye-bye from me.
A ta-ra from me.
A Merry Christmas from me.
And a very happy Christmas from me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.